Hey there, guys. It's Deanna, and I'm here with your oil a day. And as one of my friends pointed out today, this is my man voice. And this happens when you have had the virus of the century for about 2.5 days, and you decide to try to jump back in on day 3. I'm so thankful for my essential oils when I am recovering from illness. But I knew that you guys were having oil withdrawals from my videos, so I wanted to make sure I got back here and started sharing about the oil a day. As I was about to go live, I realized I'm pretty sure that I've done a marjoram video recently. I think you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that marjoram was I feel like it was one of the oils during BOGO week, and I think I cheated and did a video about it. And if so, that's alright. This one will be a lot more interesting because I am doing it with like my bass voice, so that will be much more interesting than the other one, I'm sure. So let me talk to you for just a couple minutes about marjoram and what it is good for. I don't know why it keeps like changing the lighting. Hopefully you guys can see me. It might be better that you can't see me, I'm not sure. So marjoram, first of all, is an oil that you can use, and you can use it neat, which means that you don't need a carrier oil, and that's why it's a really good one to use for kids. And what I've used it for on kids the most is those barking type coughs. So I got to test this out in person the past couple days because I literally thought I was dying. I mean, I cannot remember the last time that I was actually this sick. I don't get sick very often because I use my oils every day. But I'll tell you what happened is, it's John's fault, of course. He got a virus, and I just kind of was like, whatever, you know, I don't get sick, so I'm not going to worry about it. And what I really should have been doing is what I would have told all of you to do, is if one person in your home has some kind of virus that you need to be using the Cootie blend like 2 or 3 times a day, maybe some arborvitae so you don't get it. But I was a little cocky, and I'm like, yeah, I don't get sick, so I'm fine. But what I didn't take into consideration is that for the past like 4 weeks or so, I've been traveling, so I haven't been eating like I normally do. So, you know, I've been eating out. I've been around a lot more people. I haven't been getting enough sleep. Just all of these factors have gone into why my immune system was probably a little low. And then I didn't take precautions when somebody that sleeps in the same bed as me was like hawking up his lungs. And so honestly, too, whenever I get sick, usually I hit it really hard with the oils and I'm fine in like less than 24 hours. That is not what happened this time. I literally was texting my mom my mom said, "What's wrong?" And I texted back, "Death." Because I was like, this isn't good. Everything was hurting. I was having heart palpitations. I mean, it's just, yeah, and you can hear that it's like respiratory. So marjoram is definitely one of the game changer oils. And what's even more funny is that the last oil that I did, which was last Friday, was lime, and that's one that I've been really using. So what I've been doing is rubbing marjoram on my chest, and lime on my chest, and melaleuca, and cardamom, and cypress. And that's just kind of layering like a couple of drops. Sorry, I guess everybody just came in this room at this moment, so hopefully you guys can still hear me. I would change rooms, but that would be a lot of drama. So, and then the other thing I've been doing is putting thyme on my feet, because thyme is really, really good for respiratory illnesses. And so the usual, when I'm not feeling well, the usual is the Cootie blend. But in this particular case, I need stuff that was specific for respiratory issues. So that is why I've been really good for marjoram. And the other thing I'm using oil a lot is to irritate your skin. And that's one thing you don't have to worry about with marjoram, because it's so gentle that it can be used on an infant. And that's perfect, because I get that question a lot. You know, what if my kid has one of those barking coughs where, you know, they tell you to like take them out into the cold air and clear their lungs, that kind of cough. Marjoram is excellent for that, and then lime too. So pretty much the oils I just mentioned. So those are some of the main reasons I use marjoram. The other thing I use it for is soft tissue. So if you've been exercising hard, or you just, carrying your kid around and you have like a sore elbow, knee, ankle, even back or any kind of muscle. Marjoram is a great one to layer along with something like lemongrass. If you're going to do lemongrass, please use a carrier oil because it can get a little irritating to the skin, especially if you use it over and over in the same spot. Or if you're really, really white like me, and just your skin's sensitive. But marjoram, you don't have to worry. That's why I like it, because you can literally slap it on anywhere, pretty much anywhere. Nowhere that you shouldn't be putting oils in general, but all the normal places that you can put oils, you can use that one without a carrier, and you're going to be fine. Let's see. So basically muscles, cartilage. Oh gosh, how can I forget? So it's really good at helping the arteries to stay open and dilated. Okay, so if you're concerned that maybe your blood pressure is bumping up a little bit, marjoram's a great one to include in your daily regimen. You can take it internally in a capsule, so maybe like for a regular size adult, maybe 2 or 3 drops twice a day. You can also rub it over the heart. If you're like me, I have struggled with the kind of headaches that you get when you go through a pressure change. So like the barometric pressure in the atmosphere changes, or if I fly or I go to a much higher elevation, like usually when I go to Utah, especially when I lived in Florida and it's like we're at sea level, and then I would go somewhere mountainous, my head would feel like it was going to explode. I would get these massive pressure headaches that could last for days. And I found that if I would use marjoram, like on that bone behind my ears and on the back of my neck, if I would do that before I would fly, or if I knew that there was going to be a pressure change, and kind of do that and lemon, it would really help me a lot. I've also used marjoram for to manage pain a little bit. So if I'm just having some extra pain for whatever reason, I maybe could take some marjoram, a little bit of frankincense, maybe like 2 drops of each in a capsule, and that really can help with pain. It's very, very calming. Marjoram is a very, very calming oil. And so I remember the first time somebody told me something crazy like 6 drops of marjoram and 6 drops of frankincense in a capsule. And I seriously felt like I was on like Vicodin or something. I was so like, I could not keep my eyes open. I think that's way too much. I mean, it's not going to hurt you because it's real doTERRA essential oils. It's not like, drugs or anything like that, but I just didn't need to feel quite that relaxed. So for that reason, I would say that if you're needing to relax, or if you're wanting help with sleep, that would be a good one to use. I don't think anybody needs 6 drops unless you're like an elephant. For humans, 1 to 3 drops of essential oil at a time is totally plenty. And you could always use a little bit more a little bit later if you need to, but there's no sense in taking like 6 to 12 drops of oil. I don't know where that came from. Probably from people using junky essential oils that, that are watered down with the Lord only knows what. Another thing I've used marjoram for that we don't talk about a lot is like if you've ever gotten that upper gastric inflammation where, how do I explain this? Oh gosh. So sometimes you have some inflammation of your pancreas and you can't like eat or drink, and it can be really painful. And you get this pain in your upper gastric area. The best thing for that is to literally layer lemon, marjoram, and ginseng over that upper gastric area, and just do that every couple hours, just like 1 drop of each. And if you are able to take water, some people aren't even able to drink water in that situation. If you're able to drink water, definitely adding lemon to your water will make a huge difference. I used to have that problem like once a month, and I know that marjoram saved me on more than one occasion. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I can think of as far as the physical benefits. The emotional benefits of marjoram, so like inhaling marjoram and breathing it in, has to do with connection. Feeling connected to other people, especially when you've had some things happen to you maybe in the past that caused you to feel like you can't really trust people. And so you tend to isolate yourself in order to protect yourself. I so relate to that because, if you grow up and at a very early age, if you have traumatic things happen where people victimize you, you can feel like nobody is safe and nobody is to be trusted, and you're always looking around every corner. And that leads to I can personally tell you that leads to a very lonely existence, and you start to try to do everything yourself and lean on your own strength. And we are are creatures of community and connection. And so if you're craving that connection, but you don't know if it's safe and you don't know if you can open up to other people, marjoram might be an oil to include that will help you to get your mind to the point where you can learn to let people in. And that doesn't mean letting everybody and their mother in. I mean, you need to understand that there are safe people, and then there are people that you can be friendly and cordial to, and you don't want them in your personal space. That's been something else I've had to learn very recently. But as far as opening up to connection with others, maybe you have a teenager in your life or an adopted child or your spouse and you just aren't really connecting. That can be a great oil to diffuse in the family time or at nighttime in bed. I found that diffusing oils at nighttime for emotions is very helpful because your body is like in a resting state and your subconscious mind is more alert at that point and it can work through things. And then when you wake up in the morning, it's like you're ready to address things because you've had, 7 or 8 hours of where this oil and the properties of the oil are working on your subconscious mind. So I hope that's been helpful. I'm having deja vu about this because I'm pretty sure I did this video like a month ago during BOGO week. But again, this is the one that's in my bass voice. So this one will be famous. And so hopefully this has been helpful. If you would, share your comments, questions below, and share the video because I don't know when I'll ever sound like this again, and so this could be worth some money or something someday in the future when I'm famous. And for that reason, you should totally share it and bookmark it on your page. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you get some marjoram and try it out. It's pretty good, and you can also cook with it too. It's yummy on chicken. So there you go. Lots of reasons to try this oil. Have an awesome day. Shine on.